It's like, I guess I am. So
now turn left onto Rio Boulevard.
hey guys, what's going on? Sham Kumar here, the Minister of Everything. I went and drove a Model Y Tesla recently, and I did this by downloading the Tesla app and signing up with my driver's license. I took the front and back picture of it and filled in all my pertinent details, found the closest dealership, scheduled a demo drive, and went ahead and did it. This video will show you basically the experience from that day, and I hope you like it. If you do, like, share, and subscribe to my channel, as I plan to buy the Tesla Y very shortly and do more videos on it. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so as I'm going to drive to the dealership here, I want to give you a little idea about why I chose the Model Y as the car that I want to buy. So Tesla has many models. They have the Model 3, Model Y, Model X, and I want to say Model S. X and S, and they've introduced two new models recently that I wasn't really paying attention to. It's like an offshoot of the X and S, I believe, slightly cheaper. I'm not interested in spending that kind of money. I want to keep it under 55, 60,000 if I can. I'm interested in the technology. I'm interested in the fact that it's an electric car. And I also want a replacement for my RAV4, which I'm currently not in right now. This is my wife's car. She's using my car today. I want to understand if the Model Y can serve that. And from my research online, I realized that it can. That it has, I think, slightly more interior space than a RAV4. So the Model Y is very suitable for me, versus the 3 is more of a sedan, which doesn't work for me because I currently drive the RAV4. So I don't want to give up on any interior space. And my cargo space is actually increasing because of the frunk and the fact that I can store things on a second level in the Y, which you'll see here in a second. So the Y came to me as a perfect solution to fit all my needs of going fully electric, getting away from gas, and having the same, if not more, space than the RAV4. So I hope it lives up to my hopes and dreams, but that's kind of the reason I wanted to go for it. Now, the price point for the customized Y that I kind of built online, I haven't placed an order yet. We're in August 2023, and I'm understanding that you can get your car within a month now. You don't have to wait 3, 4, 5 months or whatever. If that stays true, then hopefully whatever order I put in should come soon after. So the order I put together online was in the 50s range, mid 50s, but I'm also considering getting the full-on autopilot, which I think is an additional 15,000. It used to be a lot cheaper, but those prices have been going up as technology has improved over time. Speaking to a friend, John, who owns the Y and has owned it for some time now, at least a year or two, has told me that the price of the autopilot is going up, and it's expected to go up as they work out kinks and it becomes more and more useful and more modern, that it can actually relieve the stress of driving, and it does everything for you and you just act as an observer. I don't think it'll be a replacement for your inebriated state. That should never be the case, but I think it will take away a lot of the stress that you feel having to be situationally aware to the level you need to when you're driving the car. Again, you still have to be aware, but it's an option I want to take to explore the technology, to see where it's going. I want to get in on the ground floor of that. So that'll drive my price up a little bit more, but I'm also going to be putting money down on my car. And if I get anything for the RAV4, I'll throw that money back in as well. So we'll get into all those details, but for now, that's my reasoning for why I want to buy a Y. Hopefully it's everything I imagine it to be. My friend and my wife said the same thing, is that you're in love with it, make sure you go and drive it, because you may not like it. Never even thought of that. And the way my friend John was telling me about the Y was, it's providing power to the wheels when you press the accelerator. So therefore, if you calculate properly, when you take your leg off the accelerator, it'll start providing power and it'll come to a stop, obviously, just like your car. But he said there's a way to do that, and it's a slightly different feel that you get used to, where it rolls to a stop, and with practice you could get used to knowing how much space you need to stop the car without hitting the brake. Versus in these kind of cars, the car will move forward because of the drivetrain that it's in. If you put it in drive, it'll keep moving forward a little bit, provided you're not on a heavy slope. So either I fudged up my understanding of what he said, I'll ask the dealership driver guy to explain it to me a little bit better, or I'll just get the feel for it when I drive. So yeah, that's my reasoning for the why. I think it fills the hole that I will feel when the RAV4 is gone, and I get to be environmentally friendly, and that's part of one of my goals. So yeah, come along. Let's continue this journey. Alright guys, so I got the car. I apparently did this test drive by myself. I had no clue that I was going to do that. It's kind of cool. As you can see the front here, I actually drove the car from the dealership about 15 minutes out. As you saw, the front was kind of spacious. I'm going to see if it locks. Okay, it manually locks, but I'm sure there's a way to do it inside. I drove it for about 15 minutes. It's a cool experience, and we're going to drive it back, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on it as we drive back. Just opening the back for you to kind of give you an interior. I wasn't allowed to film at the dealership, but the guy told me I can film all I want, stop wherever I want, and film this. So this is kind of cool. So I drove 15 minutes. Interesting experience. I'll tell you more as we drive, but I just want to kind of give you a tour of the car itself. I don't have that much time. I want to show you something of the interior because the rest is going to be of me driving. So I figured you want to see that. He gave me this card to place here, and I have my leg on the brake, and I'm gonna try to make this camera situation work. Let's figure it out. All right, what we're gonna do is drive back to the dealership because I have to return the car, and in that time I'll give you my thoughts as we go along. If I freeze up here and there, it's because I'm new to this, so bear with me. Since I'm buying this car soon. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm going to the same correct place. 1300 Rockwell. I think that's the right spot. I'm just going to check here on my phone, because if he doesn't see me in a few minutes or whenever he's expecting me back, that could be pretty bad. So Tesla, Rockville, what's the number? 1300? I just said home on the map here. Yeah, it's 1300. All right, here we go. 15 minutes. Start the journey. Okay, so interesting enough, I have to put the car in park, and apparently I do that by pushing all the way down. I'm actually going to pull forward since the car allows me to do that. There's no parking here, parked car here. I apologize. See, it's warning me that there are cars around me. That's kind of cool. That's really cool. Okay. We're going to try to not to damage this car. But, alright, here we go. If I seem flustered, nervous, that's because I am. New experience, never done this by myself. I don't know if all car experiences are like that or if it's a Tesla thing. But when he said, you're all set to drive by yourself, and I was like, I guess I am. So,
now turn left onto Rio Boulevard.
All I had to do was go in and check in today. And he gave me the keys to the car, if you will. So here we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna follow the map way home. Yep. One thing I cannot get used to yet, to be fair, I've only had the car for a few minutes, is this idea of resistive braking. So the minute you take your leg off the accelerator, it sort of brakes for you. Weirdest feeling ever. It's warning me about the car in front. That's so cool. It's got this like three-dimensional image it paints around me using the cameras. Yeah, so the resistive driving is really weird. Like the resistive braking, for me, it's like I take my leg off the accelerator, I don't see the car smoothly try to come to a stop. It actually, you could feel the braking. So that part is a little unnerving at first, but you'll get used to it, I imagine, just like everything else in life, right? It's a driving experience, but I will tell you, if you're going to go test drive a Tesla, make sure you account for that, because I promise you, it feels weird the first time. See, like, I'm used to getting my foot off the gas, and I'm not expecting a braking feeling to happen when that happens. So I'm not even touching the brakes, really. I'm just releasing the accelerator, and the car seems to be slowing down. I really like this awareness thing on the car. It shows you the cars around you.
In 500 feet, turn right to take the Semi Highway ramp.
It shows you the car that's slowing down and warns you. I imagine it'll stop the car automatically at some point, from what I understand. Obviously, I'm not going to try that with a test drive.
Take the Semi Highway ramp.
See, right now I'm not even touching the brakes. It's just slowing down on its own. All I'm doing is taking my leg off the accelerator, and if I feel like it's not stopping fast enough, I'm going to use the brake. But right now, I don't have my leg on the brake at all. I'm touching the accelerator, but I'm not pushing down on it. I have to remember this on my way home when I drive my own sad-ass car, and realize that I actually have to touch the brakes. So, wish me luck. We're getting back on the highway. It's pretty cool that this particular three-dimensional traffic image thing shows you when you have a blind spot.
Interstate 270 south exit on the right.
One thing I noticed about this car is the mirrors. The side view mirrors are awfully small. That's because you're not really expected to rely on them too much. Everything tells you where you need to be, what blind spots you have, everything. Speed limits, what speed you're doing. The part about the speedometer not being right in front of me hasn't been that big of a deal. I've gotten used to just looking here. Over the years, we've all been distracted drivers thanks to iPhones and smartphones. So you having to take your eye off the front shouldn't be that tall of an order. That was my attempt at humor. So this is really cool. It's showing me that a big truck is there. That is neat. Now, if I were to do this, it's showing me my blind spot. How cool is that?
Now keep right to stay on Interstate 270 south. In 1,000 feet, keep left to stay on Interstate 270 south.
You still have to check your blind spots, because I noticed that car was coming. It picked up when it came into the field of vision, but if I hadn't looked over there, I probably wouldn't have seen it. Or, I don't know. We'll have to play with that later when I actually get a car and there's not a car that doesn't belong to me on trial here, to find out if something works or not. Alright. Yeah, I love the blind spot feature. It tells you that there's a car there, but as you saw, that when that car accelerated, you still have to look, because you're still going to be the guy in charge. I haven't touched the brake at all on this highway. It feels really unnerving. Map system is really cool. It tells you what the charge is going to be at the end of the trip, which is 76%. Right now it's at 78. See, so the minute I indicate that I'm moving over, it shows you anything in your blind spot, both in camera, and the icon turns red for that, representing the other car. And I don't know if you just noticed, but I'll demonstrate this again on our way back. If I put the indicator on, in conventional cars, you often have to turn all the way for the indicator to turn off automatically. Here, it realizes when there's a lane change, it uses that lane change technology or whatever to basically indicate to you that you've already done the lane change, so it turns it off for you. It's really cool. I have to play with all these settings more, but just giving you some quick initial observations. I needed the first 15 minutes to get comfortable with the car on my own. Never not had a driver next to me. He just handed me the keys. He has my license, of course, that I uploaded yesterday to make this trip easier. So I can just come in and start driving, and that's exactly what I ended up doing. So we're about 9 minutes from the dealership. I'm trying to see what else I can show you here. It's got a lot of cool features like Spotify and all that stuff, but I could show you all that after. I want to kind of keep this video to be initial impressions, if you will. I'm nervous as heck. I don't remember the last time I drove a rental, let alone somebody else's car, let alone a car that I don't own from a dealership, to test drive on my own. New experiences all around, but I'm getting more comfortable with this resistive braking thing. I'm learning to keep my leg on the accelerator. Again, I need to unlearn this on the way home, but I don't think that should be too much of a stretch. The issue is going to be when I get this car and I get used to this, I have to drive my wife's car, and I assume that thing is going to stop itself. That's going to be bad. So that's going to be the hard part. right? I haven't spent enough time in this car to have learned this bad behavior, so we'll see how it goes. But definitely a car I want. I've determined that much. I'm gonna have to get used to the small mirrors. That's another thing I'm gonna have to get used to, is still do the head check, but use this for your blind spot. The head check's important for cars that just come by really fast that you're not expecting. So the cameras and the blind spot turning red thing is good if the cars are there and you're not seeing it, versus a car accelerating and it needs to, not for car flying like a bat out of hell.
Keep right to take Falls Road South.
You got it.
Right to take Falls Road South.
See how that looks? And see, now it's detected I'm taking this exit, so the indicator stopped. I don't know if that's just a feature of new cars. My car is 2015, so that could be a feature of regular cars. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I think it's friggin' cool. But I really am enjoying the whole indicator turns off by itself thing.
500 feet, turn left onto Ruby Parkway.
I mean, isn't that the point of these smart cars, if you will? To take the fatigue off of driving. I'm actually more fatigued because it's my first time. And I'm nervous as heck, but I think as I get used to it, the smart car safety will remove the fatigue for me. But today I feel fatigued not because of the car, because I'm just a nervous wreck driving this by myself. So interesting stuff. Look at that. It's showing me cars in the other lane too, and it's showing that there's a physical barrier here. Again, no leg on the brakes. Look, Ma. No hands, no legs. It's amazing. I wonder what the limit is for that. How much of an incline I need to be before it starts to roll and I need to apply some brake. Again, I'll test all that when I get my own vehicle. This is not the time on a vehicle to test that on a vehicle that doesn't belong to me. The sunroof's quite cool. I'll have to see in full sun how it is. And I heard Amazon sells covers and you can tint it and stuff, so I'll check it out. Love the stylings in here. Again, my foot's off the brake completely. These are the charging pads. Okay, here we go. Again, I want to let that truck go. I just don't trust myself. Or him, I'll be honest here. Okay, here we go. Feel much better now. Oh man, the pickup on this thing is amazing. Again, something I'll test once I buy it and I'm not ruining somebody else's car. Truck's letting me in, good boy. And I just took off my leg off the accelerator to slow down, and boy, that sensation of being stopped by that resistive brake is intense, especially downhill. It's going to take a little while getting used to. I'm not feeling quite queasy, but you could if you easily get motion sick. I'm starting to understand what people tell me when they drive with me, people who don't know me that well or don't drive with me on a regular basis. They tell me that I have this tendency while I'm talking, or people in the car, to take my foot off the accelerator and then accelerate again, take my foot off the accelerator. That bad habit is coming to affect me now for the first time. I'm seeing probably what the heck they're saying. And it's going to make me feel sick if I do this all day. So I'm just going to have to adjust to this really quickly when I get it. Oh, see, I did it again because I was trying to slow down. And how much I get my foot off the gas matters to how much resistive braking that goes in. Down that hill, it was not fun, man. I tell you right now, up the hill isn't that much fun either. Oh gosh, that didn't feel that good. I'm starting to get queasy, but I'm also intermittent fasting, so I haven't eaten since dinner last night. That could add to that mix as well. Note to self, eat before you take a test drive. Or not, if you're going to throw up your hot dog all over somebody else's dealership's car. I would turn down the music, but I just don't want to mess with too many things here. I'm trying to learn how to drive this, and I need to bring it back. It's 12. He's hopefully expecting me any second right now. I'm probably making that guy nervous at the dealership. Nah, I'm just kidding. Should be there in 5 minutes, so it says 12:06 for arrival time, so that's good. He's not going to be too mad at me. He'll probably sigh a breath of relief when he sees me. Although I don't think it works that way. They have my license. I'll probably be responsible for some damages if something happens. Okay, see again, no brakes. So, interesting. Look, Ma, no brakes again. I'm not moving an inch. I just have to judge how much space I'm going to need once I buy this car for the resistive braking to fully take over. Hey, look, another Tesla, also blue. I wonder if he's test driving it. I can't turn the air up in here. Again, I didn't want to waste time playing with those settings right now. I wanted to drive the car and realize if I'm going to get this or not. I'm going to tell you that resistive braking thing is going to be a little bit of an effort for me, but I'll get used to it. It's just like everything else, practice, but to me it's not rate limiting. Now I wonder if my wife drives it, if she's going to feel the same way. I'm sure it's going to be a tall order for her as well, or for anyone really who's not expecting that, right? Because cars don't behave that way. And outside of other cars that, conventional cars that stop for collision, I can't imagine anybody feels normal when things break for you. Yep, I'm officially breaking sweat. This is the long-range model, by the way. I wanted to test drive the model I wanted to buy. So, did you see those signals go by? Holy shit, that's funny. Okay, so max speed 40. It says you can go as far as 45. I'm really going to have to work on my footwork and follow the advice of my friends since when I first started driving to not accelerate, decelerate, accelerate, decelerate. Try to keep it constant. It's going to be a tall order for me. I think if you just push the correct amount of energy, and again, it'll come with practice, it'll be okay. Important thing is to not take your foot off the gas for any reason, even for a second, because it starts braking, unless that's what you want. Alright, I'm starting to finally get less nervous, and I have to give it back. If that sounded weird because it got cut off by that instruction to turn right here. I know it's 0.1 miles from now, I'm indicating too early. It's not my car, I'm trying to be respectful. Trying to get there on time so this guy is not going to be nervous. Okay, we're almost there. I'm sure he could track my car. I don't know why I'm so nervous. He's probably seeing that I'm not coming back. See, again, no brake. Just took my foot off the accelerator. And now I'm accelerating again. My gosh, this is weird. Alright, we're almost there. I hope you're enjoying this. It's going to be a lot more videos on this, but guys, this is a cool experience. A few hours in this thing, I'll be an expert. And I won't be sweating my balls off. Oof, I don't know if that was family friendly. It's okay, I'm going to have to select the not made for kids option on YouTube. I'm trying not to do this because people can cross, but... Again, see? No brakes. I know it can handle this, but I want to know what's the maximum incline it can handle. I have a big drop in my neighborhood, coming into the neighborhood. I wonder if I take my foot off the accelerator, if it would bring it to a stop. It probably could. But I need to assess travel distance. Hey, there's a video in and of itself. We'll do that. Okay. It's not detecting the cars in front of me because it's too far, and that's okay. Come on. That was interesting. Felt like I had to brake on that one. Alright, oh, I'm freaking going. Well, it's a green, so that's a good thing. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be very hard to have an accident in this car. Gosh. It's probably a feature that's in traditional cars, but I absolutely love the whole not having to turn off the turn indicator once I change lanes. I'm just being silly, I know, but this is a safe car. It's going to be very hard to have an accident in it. And I shouldn't say that and jinx myself 30 seconds before returning it.
In 1,000 feet, turn left.
Okay, so... Not here. There, got it. That was an awesome test drive. I just gotta get my wife on board now. She's not gonna enjoy the resistive braking bit, but outside of that, I think she's gonna find it just fine. I hope she finds it spacious, because I think she was concerned about the space not being as big as a RAV4, but if I go for the 7-seater model, it's not gonna work. There's just no room in here. The 5-seater is fine. We have kids, 2 kids, and that's fine. I think it can replace the RAV4, but it looks spacious to me. I think there's a lot of room in the front and back. I'll have to get her opinion on it. Maybe do a video when she drives this. That's going to be my next video. Okay, we're almost there, buddy. I hope you can see me. Sound mad at me. I'm sure people take it for an hour and act like nothing happened, so I'm probably one of the better ones. But still, I'm coming back within a reasonable time frame. 5-6 minutes late.
Now your destination is on the right.
Some argument going on over there. Fight, 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 fight. Okay, well, here I am. I'm just gonna have to park it here. I'm gonna reverse park it for this guy because he was cool enough to give it to me that way. Help him out. Help him with his business. Show off these cars like it's a fleet of cars here, you know? I realize again, with the reverse, it just doesn't start reversing. I have to hit the accelerator just like before. Such a weird feeling where a car just doesn't start moving for no reason whatsoever. Oh, it's detecting people walking. Did you see that? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm doing a good job. Doing a good job. Great. Unlike the rest of society, I can pull a car back into a spot. I know. I'm getting stupidly excited that I didn't damage this poor car. You gotta push the button. That one's for Ryan if you're watching. Push the button. That's what he says to park the car. Alright, guys. That's it. Okay, hopefully that works. Alright, let's go home. Now. That thing was awesome. It was one of the best test drives I've ever had. I see my car still there. It hasn't been locked. That's what the guy at the counter told me, that car switch is off, but I didn't lock it. I don't think anybody's going to steal that car without the app or the card. So no concerns there. I've scheduled a test drive for this weekend. So that should help.
Turn right onto Rockville Pike.
Plan to bring my wife back, get her to drive it, pick a color, discuss features, and hopefully place an order. I have a referral code that the guy told me to bring in because we get $500 off, I believe. Okay, I did the same thing with my Tesla leaving. It is what it is. So here we go. So we're gonna come back Saturday, figure it all out. I'm really leaning towards the full autopilot package. A little pricey, but I do want to get in on the ground floor before they cost too much. And according to my friend John and what I've seen in the interwebs and seen actually the prices go up over the years, is the price keeps going up. It was $5,000 to begin with, now it's 10, 15. As the technology gets better, it's just going to get higher and higher and higher. So I better put in for that now. A little expensive. I think the option is $15K, but don't want to miss out because that's a lifetime price. From what I understand, you can do a subscription. I think it's like $100 a month, so you can rent it, sort of, right? And the feature goes away here and there. Just want to make sure Tesla's not messaging me. I'm at a signal, so not that unsafe. Okay, anyways. All right, $100 a month. So I mean, $1,200 a year if you were to get it for the full year, right? And then $1,200 a year times 10 is $12,000 for 10 years. So seems like a lot of money to pay for it up front. But my thing is I'm just worried that the subscription fees will go up over the years. So if I don't just pay for it and just get it and not have to worry about it because you get free updates, I'm worried about the subscription costs going up. So each time I rent it, it just goes up more and more. I'm not gonna lie, I did get used to the resistive braking because I felt the need to have to reach out and brake this time in my regular car compared to the Tesla, which is why I'm over the line here a little bit, which is not cool. But there is going to be a challenge going between regular and Tesla. I want to make that clear to myself and anybody who's watching. It may not be true for you because you're probably smarter than I am and you can manage more than one type of car. I probably have to be careful because I did not feel the need to reach for a brake just now, or as much, something like that. It was different for sure. So anyways, I do want to pay for the full-on autopilot now, get it over with. There's two ways to look at this, right? Subscription can go up, so you end up paying more over the years. It could be more than $15,000, but whatever you end up paying more will be in terms of a decade or more, unless the subscription goes up significantly to $300, which it could, right? Could be supply and demand. If a lot of people are demanding this, the subscription model could go up in price significantly to accommodate for all those new early adopters, or not early adopters, new adopters that are coming in late actually. So my logic is if I pay the add-on fees now, call it a day, I'll be clear of all that, right? I'll be fixed into that price. But the other thing is, am I going to drive this car for 15 years? I'd like to think so. The battery lives on these things are amazing. I don't know if these new ones come with the 1,000,000-mile battery. I'll have to check back with you on that one. But technically, this could be the last car that I buy for the next 15 years, unless God forbid something happens. Again, jinxing myself while saying that. So, lots to think about, but I really do want the full autopilot. I'm gonna have to ease into learning it. The thing is, once you don't get that full autopilot option, you have to go to subscription model. From what I understand, you can't just pay for it and get it. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll correct that in the next video. But that's where I'm leaning right now. So that would be my biggest expense, right? So the other step down from the full autopilot is enhanced, which I think is like auto park, auto summon, where you can call the car to you. I'll demonstrate all that once I get it. And I believe there's the self-driving option as well, but it's not as good as the full-on autopilot, where I think it accounts for stop signs and signals in most places. Again, guys, you still have to pay attention. This is not free license for you to get drunk at a bar and put your hand on the wheel and hope it drives you home, right? That's not going to change, and I'm sure the laws will have to be amended to fix that, to address people who do that eventually. But I digress. Absolutely love the car. Zero red flags for me. Don't test drive it on an empty stomach. Resistive braking is going to be a little bit of a challenge for me, going back and forth between the two cars. I'm quite sure I can get used to it, but that's going to be a bit of a challenge for me. What else? Price point, 50 something odd dollars. The autopilot will drive it up, but I'm going to bring it down with a down payment and a trade-in. I'm trying to think. Overall, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Great day, great effort. I'm so glad I went and did that. The last thing I would have wanted is to take delivery and figure all these things out for the first time. Now I can look up some stuff in preparation for buying this thing, like where the air is and stuff like that. I'm sure they'll give me a walkthrough and things like that. My buddy Suhan is providing the referral, so I'm going to bring his link with me so I can get that referral. So he gets something, I get something. I'll go into all that. Next step really is to convince the wife that it's a good car and hope she feels the same way as I do about this. But guys, thanks for sticking with me if you stayed this whole time. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I promise to do more Tesla videos as I go through. I'm the minister of everything, so therefore there will be videos on this one too. I already missed a Tesla, man. Can't wait to get it. Oh, the last thing before I go is he did say it's 3 to 5 week wait, which is really not bad, considering they used to be months behind schedule. And he did say there's inventory that they have that might suit my needs. I'm hoping that's the case, but again, I'm not paying extra for like a tow hitch or something like that I don't need. So let's see. It all depends on how badly I want something, and then we can go from there. Work out the finances and stuff like that. So we'll go from there. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking with me again. See you on the next one. Peace.